All right, welcome to Motorcycology, everybody. My name's Jonathan. I'm glad that you're here watching. If you're a new viewer, thanks for stopping by. And for those return viewers, thanks for stopping by and watching this motorcycle vlog. I also want to reiterate to all the regular people that I am working on Corvette projects and currently working on installing the front brake line and then the radiator. So those are works in progress and I'll have them up on the channel soon. So thanks for being patient with that. This motorcycle vlog is just a vlog from where I live on the super west side of Ottawa, and we're heading into the west end of Ottawa to go to a motorcycle place which is called Royal Distributing, and maybe a few other places, like I might need to get a haircut or something like that, who knows. Anyway, I'll continue recording this vlog once we get onto some of the main roads here anyway. So once again, it's late August. We've got rain in the forecast for tomorrow, but for today it's another very warm summer day, and that's one of the reasons why we're taking the motorcycle out. And once again, the gentleman behind me is my son, a relatively new motorcycle rider. So initially we didn't even know if we'd be getting that motorcycle on the road this year or not, before September or mid-September. So he did a lot of work as soon as he could in the summertime to make sure that he got the right qualifications and found the right motorcycle, had time to buy it and transport it to our house, which we actually picked up in a dealership called Motoplex in Maribel, Quebec, which is close to Montreal, and we trailered it back with the pickup truck, and that was a lot of fun. And that will be 3 weeks ago this Friday. So really nice adventure. It just rained like crazy because it happened to be the day that Hurricane Debbie was around, so that kind of sucked, but we made it okay, which was okay. So this is one of the typical country roads that I often go out motorcycling in. A couple reasons. Very nicely paved, and it's got a couple big sweeping curves coming up right now, which are fun and a good way to get warmed up. We'll be turning off this road very soon and then heading east, I guess, into Ottawa. So we live in the far west end and stuff like that. So here we go into a minor sweeping corner, but it's still fun. And a little bit of a right, and now we're going to be into a longer right turn coming up here. We've got a farm vehicle. It's harvest time, or getting close to harvest time, so you're often going to see harvest and farm vehicles out on the road around this part of town. And if you live in the country, you guys know what I'm talking about. This one's super wide, so we're going to have to slow right down, and not too sure if this guy has the ability to pass or not. Motorcycles, it's easy just to whip around them, so this car is going to be a little bit more hesitant, I guess, until you get a better view on that. So that's pretty good. Nice pass, and then the pass was successfully done by my son as well. So we're going to be doing a right turn off of this road right now, which kind of impedes this wonderful bank, but indicator light on. And once again, if you're ever riding on these country roads, always be cautious on the gravel that is on these corners. So you can't just blindly go into them because it can be slippery. Not a big deal on that one, so that's good. And same with him, he managed the corner pretty well. Last time we took this road last week, it seemed like a nice clear day, but there was this great big massive storm cloud looming in the distance, and we tried to GPS around it, but eventually we couldn't. So we got hit with a lot of rain. Not a huge amount of downpour, so we missed the huge downpour, but we were in the aftermath of that, so a lot of light rain, a lot of water on the road. I was contemplating putting this motorcycle into a different engine mode, engine mapping. It has two. It's got the Alpha and Bravo, or A and B mode. The A mode is the normal riding mode where you get full power whenever you want it. The B mode is great for beginners or wet weather, so you can hit the B mode. Ultimately, the motorcycle does about the same speed. It's just a little bit slower. Got some bug in my helmet here. That was weird. Hopefully it's not around anymore. That doesn't happen that often where you get a fly up in your helmet, so it could be up there. I haven't seen it, but hopefully not. It's a nice neighborhood up here on the right. Kind of cookie cutter houses, but at least they have some property and some space, so a nice little neighborhood in there. I would definitely live there, especially with that double, triple car separated garage. That would be perfect. So I have been looking around for new property. Not too sure if it's going to be in this part of the world or out west where most of my family lives, but just looking for farm property, mainly with a century-old, really nice farmhouse and a lot of outdoor buildings. So I'm looking for more space to do some of the hobbies like motorcycle maintenance and definitely project cars. I've got a couple, or at least 3 project cars on the go. One's the red Corvette that we're all familiar with, and the other 2 are CRXs, and they will complement my red CRX, which is totally functional, and my relatively new blue Corvette, which requires minimal maintenance or servicing. So that car is pretty much perfect. There is one thing that I would like to fix, and I'd like to fix it kind of old school. So with C3 Corvettes, the clocks normally don't work after a period of time. I understand the functioning of them. It's a mixture between a mechanical wind that is pushed. The mechanical wind is kind of like a little push rod that is connected to a electromagnet coil motor. So periodically, when it's functioning, the coil would retract the piston and then push a lever that then mechanically winds the clock. So what happens in a lot of cases, especially after years and years of this type of repetitive use, is that electromagnet coil that has the push rod in it, it's kind of like a relay, it fails. So what you need to do is take it all apart, unwind the existing relay or coil, and then rewind it with, you know, similar type copper wire. So I have all the copper wire, everything's ready to go. It's just a matter of getting around to doing it. The biggest part for me that is difficult is not fixing the clock. It's taking the dash apart and getting all the gauges out so that I can access the clock. So little things like that end up being a little bit more problematic, and they tend to slow down my impulses as far as, or my, not slow down my impulse, but slow down my desire to get right on to these type of projects. And I am not 100% familiar where I need to go here, so I'm pretty sure my son knows. Maybe I'll let him go in front. Yeah, he's got the GPS, so that's cool. There's a right turn up here which I was uncertain of, so he's all hooked up with the GPS and knows what we're looking for, so now I'm going to follow him for a little bit. This road's a little bit choppy. It feels like you're riding on a power boat and you're going over your somebody's wake. You keep on every one of these bumps, it feels like you're hitting a wake in a motorboat or something like that. So the next road I think is a little bit smoother. This road is, and some of these old country roads around here are very not so, they're okay for motorcycle riding, but they're a little bit bumpy for my liking. We went on a road on Sunday evening which was newly paved. It was like glass, it was like fantastic. So yeah, really nice. And I'll do my best to speed up and catch him in a second or two. Yeah, with these warm days, there's a high level of humidity in the air, and it's heavy. You can feel that the air. It's very heavy outside and humid as well. So you end up feeling like you're sweating without even doing anything. So that's always pretty interesting. I've got to make some adjustments to this camera here. There we go. I would imagine we'll be turning pretty soon, so let's hope so. If any of you guys out there ride sports bikes or super sport bikes which are in this like aggressive racing position, and if you're not actually racing and you're just going for a ride like I am, let me know if you get a lot of pressure on your wrists and your elbows and your shoulders, because they generally act as shock absorbers. So a lot of the vibration from the road comes right up through your arms. So it's important to be loose, I guess. All right, so here's where we're turning here. Last time I was on this one was raining, which wasn't fun. So hopefully he's good with that. Yeah, so there's a lot of gravel on this one. Slow right down. Don't want to do a low side. That would be a low side fall on that. I think my first stop is stopping in for a coupe de cheveux, or a haircut. This road's a little bit more interesting. It's got a little bit more twists and turns and elevation changes. So right now we're going down probably about 20 feet on that one, 20 to 25 feet, and now we're coming into a nice comfortable banking corner, which is great. Good opportunity for me to speed up a little, catch them up. it's really interesting living so close to a big city, but just out in the countryside, which for me, I really like it. It's great for mental health. All this space around, really nice. I also like living in Ottawa. Ottawa is an interesting city. For those of you who know it, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who have never been to Ottawa, it's the capital city in Canada, meaning that is, you know, kind of like Washington, DC. That's the capital city of the US. Ottawa is the same. That's where our government sits, home of the Prime Minister of Canada, and a lot of government agencies work in downtown Ottawa. And also because Canada is nationally recognized as a bilingual country, although French isn't really spoken routinely outside of Quebec and Ontario. It may a little bit in Nova Scotia and Acadia, but we have one French province, and politically the rest of Canada, or the official languages in Canada, are English and French officially. So in places like Ottawa, where it's a federally city that is the national capital, employs a lot of federal employees, it's very normal, especially in a work environment, that things are done in English and French. So if you're English, you could expect part of your work to be done in French, as far as oral communication, reading, writing, listening. And you know, there'll be a lot of French people or francophones who switch to English periodically during the day, and then for us anglophones, we can speak in French at work as well. The goal is to be able to communicate, maybe not at the same level in both official languages. So for me, French is a second language, and I've learned to speak French through courses and practice. So for me, c'est possible de parler en français chaque jour, chaque fois, et travailler en français un peu. So all I said, it's easy for me to work in French and a little bit, speak in French a little bit, stuff like that. So that was a good little corner. So from a cultural point of view, Ottawa is really interesting. It's got all the national art centers and some great museums, museums of science and nature, National Art Gallery, Museum of Civilization across the Ottawa River in a city called Hull, that's in Quebec. And we also have the Canadian War Museum, which is very interesting as well. So always worth a really good visit there. That was another great corner there. Low speed, but nice kind of twisties here. And yeah, just going through some miscellaneous old country highway here. I think this is my third time in my life on this road. So that's a great house that's parked in the back there too. Very modern. So this would be an ideal place to live, because you're out in the country, but you're even closer to a major city, which is kind of cool. So I guess we're turning up here. He did a nice smooth turn there, which is always kind of like what I'm looking for as number one, as a fellow more experienced motorcycle rider, and then the other part is he's my son, so I'm always interested to see his progress. And like I've said in other vlogs, there's always that added bit of risk that I have to worry about now, which I never normally did. So I'm still adjusting to that, and At first I was kind of like staying up at night thinking about it. Now I've accepted it a little bit more, and at least for most of the significant motorcycle rides, we're going out there together anyway, so it's not as if we're going to do anything crazy at all. I definitely will ride a little bit more restrictive and safer, I think, when I'm riding with him than sometimes I would do by myself or with other people, because this motorcycle is fast and sometimes it's fun to let it rip and go, but I haven't done that for a while now. Got some good acceleration on his motorcycle too, which is kind of good. I've only just briefly ridden the motorcycle up in front in a parking lot just to see what it's like, but based on insurance and things like that, we normally don't swap riders on motorcycles, because I'm insured on this one, for example, he's insured on that one, but the insurance doesn't transfer. So for example, if he's insured, that doesn't mean that that insurance carries over to my motorcycle and vice versa. So the insurance that we tend to get here, at least in Canada, is you're insured for a particular vehicle with particular drivers on it. So for my cars, for example, we have 3 drivers in my household. They're all on the insurance policy as drivers for that car. On the motorcycles, we don't do that. It's just me insured on this motorcycle with my insurance, and my son is insured on his motorcycle with his insurance. Now, motorcycle insurance in Canada is very expensive. So it's almost impossible for a younger rider to buy a motorcycle like mine, which is very risky. It's an attractive item to steal. There's probably more crashes per percentage, and a lot of younger guys would ride these motorcycles, so higher risk. So the insurance is very expensive. So, you know, if you're 30 years old or younger, typically you're not going to be paying for the insurance to ride this type of motorcycle. And it only gets more expensive the higher CC that you have. So if this were a liter bike, for example, the insurance would be not worth it, I don't think, unless you absolutely are dying to drive that type of motorcycle. The insurance isn't worth it. So we have motorcycles that are fast and sporty and are at the cusp of expensive insurance. So for the example, if my son were to insure himself on this motorcycle, it would be super expensive. The motorcycle that he has is not rated as a super sports bike, but it's rated as a sports bike. So the insurance is a little bit more affordable. Mine is rated as a super sports bike, so you're paying max insurance for it. I haven't had any accidents or anything in my motorcycle career, which is 13 to 14 years old, so my insurance rates are not too bad. No tickets, no crashes, or anything like that. So I have relatively affordable, for me, insurance that makes it worthwhile to still have a motorcycle. I think where it's going to hurt guys like my son is he'll be paying insurance, I think, during the winter time. It would be great living in a place like California where you can ride motorcycles all year round, or other states that you can. I know in Canada, impossible to ride a motorcycle all year round unless you're out on Vancouver Island on the west coast. There's potential that you could, but even during the winter months you can get light snow there, and it's certainly very much on the colder side for motorcycling, I think. So we're going to be coming up to a roundabout. That's what we call them here. It's kind of like a traffic circulation intersection. So it's not an all-way stop or a four-way stop. It's a roundabout. So that, I guess they're designed to facilitate the movement of traffic a little bit better. So anyway, once we hit that, we'll be heading into the city, and then we're going to pass by the Canadian Tire Centre, which is where the NHL hockey team Ottawa Senators play, and I'll point that out as well. This road here is pretty much a straight old country road. Lots of nice hail bins in there. Oh, a driving range there. Never knew that. That's nice to know. A lot of square, big hail bays there, which you don't see those that often anymore. Hail or hay bales in the square rectangle shape. Normally they're in the rolled up ones, so it's kind of nice to see that. All right, we're coming up to the roundabout. We're not actually going to go around the roundabout too much, but we're going to be doing a right turn and then heading into the west end of the city here. And I guess we're going to have to wait a little bit to see what's going on here. Not too sure. I got hit in all the crazy traffic, and here we go. That was nice of him to wait. Nicely caught up. So now you can tell we're starting to get into the urban areas. We're in between a small west end suburbia town called Stittsville and Canada. So it sounds like Canada, but it's Canada, K-A-N-A-T-A. And as you go further into Ottawa, after Canada, as you go east, you'd be hitting a place called Nepean, Westboro, and then the Glebe area, and then finally into downtown Ottawa. And as you go east, you go through places like Alta Vista, Gloucester, Orleans, and then even further out of there is a place called Rockland. I like these roundabouts. They're fun on a motorcycle. They definitely keep the momentum going. And we're heading up over a single lane bridge over the Highway 417, which there's not too many of these single lane bridges that go over these major 400 series highways. So that's kind of cool, at least in town anyway. So up on my left, you can see the Canadian Tire Centre. That's a great big NHL arena and entertainment center that is used. And hockey season will be starting in just a couple months, I think, or less. And we're going straight through this into Stittsville. And then I'm going to go and get my hair cut, and then we're moving on to a place called Royal Distributing, which is a motorcycle ATV type of place, which is good. All right, here we go through the lights, and on our right, which I'm not going to mess around with, is an Ottawa police station, which which we're going by right now, on my right, which is over there. And yeah, you don't see too many of the cops around, too many of them around, but they're there when you need them. But their presence isn't overbearing in the city, which is great. You don't feel like you're being heavily policed at all, and it's done by city police. Back where I live, our town is so small they don't have a town police or anything like that, so they use a provincial police team, which in Ontario they are called Ontario Provincial Police, and we have a small detachment within our town, and we get our policing services from that. We do have town fire services and town medical and hospital, very small hospital, mind you, but walking distance from my house, which is very convenient as well. And we'll be going through another roundabout up here, so I would say these weren't the norms, but in this area of town it looks like they've adopted them, and it's very British when you think about it. That's the only country, you know, countries that are associated with the UK tend to have roundabouts, and sometimes within Canada we adopt some of those things, I think. Even though we're North American, for some reason we are part of the Commonwealth. Our head of state is the King of England, King Charles, which, you know, all our government policies and stuff like that are based on the king and crown money and things like that. You know, that would be our federal money, would be considered crown, and a lot of our laws are based on stuff like that. So hard to break away from the connection with the monarchy, for sure. Monarchy. So now I got to go into this area here. We don't really see a lot of UK or royal presence in Canada. They do visits once in a while, but it's not overbearing or overwhelming. And, you know, they usually get a pretty decent crowd in as well. So yeah, we just go straight ahead. Just like driving cars, sometimes driving in parking lots is more challenging because slow speeds and a lot of people not necessarily paying attention to where they're going, which could be me as well. I'm just following him. He knows where I need to go to get my hair cut. And there we go. Cut in front of some people. That wasn't cool, but I did it. All right, I'm going to park here and hopefully get my hair cut. No, maybe I'll move over here then. There we go. Off to the next destination, which is, like I said, a place called Royal Distributing. One of the few places around where you can actually physically go to buy ATV, motorcycle, some water sport type of stuff. I don't think this is gonna I don't know where I'm going. Do, 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 do. All right, I'm going to inch over to the middle of the road here. And we're not going to get this light, I know it. Because we're on motorcycles. Yep, didn't work. Anyway, we finally got out of that parking lot. Now we got to wait a bit. There we go. There's all the mayhem there that we're trying to get through. The lights that didn't work, so I guess we could have gone through there, but it would have been nasty. Gravel and motorcycles with slick tires are not a good combination. Alright, this is Hazeldean Road in Stittsville, entering Canada. I think we're going to go to Costco also after this, so I'm going to turn in here. And we're not going to get an advance on this one either. Some of the things that aren't necessarily fun about riding motorcycles is you don't get the normal advances and stuff like that, so it kind of sucks. But we might get it, you never know. We'll see. We've got to wait here for a minute or so. Pop it in neutral. Some people don't. I tend to put it in neutral, not all the time, but once in a while. And it just gives me a little bit of a break from the clutch and everything like that. Watching the lights here. Yeah, we did get an advance. That's pretty awesome. It doesn't always happen that way. And we're going to go all the way down to another roundabout. And then we'll be heading to the parking lot that has this place, once again called Royal Distributing, which is just up here. Whoa. And I'm going to go to our standard parking that we tend to do here. Maybe I'm just going to go a little bit further up here. There we go. Park her right in here. There we go. We'll turn you on next time we head to Costco in about 10 minutes. Here we go. Guess I'll follow him in for this ride. And it's just a short ride to Costco, and then I'll conclude the vlog there. So we got a big box store up here. Last year it was called the Lowe's, and now they've rebranded it as a Rona Plus. So Lowe's itself was in Canada and now they're not, so it's kind of weird. I don't think we're going to get this light. Nope, that's all right. So then a company called Rona, which I believe its parent company is in Quebec once again, they bought it out, and most of the products are very similar, same setup of the store and stuff like that. So I guess we're gonna have to wait here for a little bit. So here we go. That didn't take too long. and we are just at 101. So here we go, and it's basically just straight up on this lane here. And making it through this light, and we're making it through the next set of lights, and I believe the one after that we're doing a left turn, and then we quickly have to go into the right hand side and then another right, and we're into the Costco parking lot. That is going to conclude today's motorcycle vlog. And yeah, mostly in these motorcycle vlogs I'm just testing out my equipment and then trying to put some YouTube videos together for whatever it's worth. I know back in the day I enjoyed watching motorcycle vlogs and just listening to whatever the rider was talking about. I found that more interesting really than the motorcycle ride. So there's different perspectives that you can do. Right now I'm just using the outside camera, the 360 camera that should be able to give people decent enough views of the motorcycle ride. I do have a Insta 360 Ace Pro, which I've got recently, and I'm going to set that up on a chin mount, which I already have, and try that out. So maybe I'll do that in another vlog here. So oh, this isn't the place that I would have turned, but I see what he's getting at here. I would have gone up another block, but we'll be turning right up at this four-way stop here, which is coming up in just a few seconds here. So I'm going to put my indicator on, and we'll take it from there. Just follow in line here, so it's an all-way stop. Good practice for throttle and clutch control, especially if you're a new rider. And I'm going around as well. And now we'll be straight through at this next set of lights here, and then a right turn into where we need to go. So yeah, motorcycling is different in an urban area where there's a lot of stops and starts, a lot of shifting from first into third, and then back down into first again, and then waiting around at stoplights. So a lot different than our normal riding, that's for sure. But we'll be there in 2 or 3 minutes at the most. Not too sure what that was for, but I guess it's an indicator that all is good. Everybody is relaxed. Gust of wind coming through here, can definitely feel that. See it around for sure. So we're passing through this one road called Palladium Drive, and we're on a street called Silver 7, which is always interesting. So my fan now is on, and with that you can feel all this warm air come circulating up. Thankfully we're going to get moving now, and I'll let him go ahead and I'll follow. Yeah, so the air that gets pushed through here when you're not moving warms you up pretty fast. So as we're getting close to entering the Costco parking lot here, whoa, so many lights in the city driving. I'm not complaining, it's just an observation that you know, if you've ever driven a standard shift in the city, you know what I mean. It's kind of like clutch in, first gear, second, third gear, okay, coast for a stop, light, repeat. It's very much the same on the motorcycle. as well. So we're in the Costco parking lot right now. I just wanted to thank you guys for being part of this YouTube channel, watching the videos, making comments on the videos, and like I said, I'm working on the Corvette stuff. That's the main content of the channel. I just put these vlogs on a playlist for those people who are interested in watching them. Nevertheless, I appreciate all your guys' support, and we'll catch you back here right at Motorcycology next time. People are crazy around here. I wonder where he's going to elect to go. That white car, totally strange. Anyway, I'll just follow this guy here. I don't even know if he knows where he's going. And we'll park in the same spot as per normal. Anyway, thanks you guys, and we'll see you back here next time.